Every April, which is National Poetry Month in the US, I write 30 poems, one for each day, as a charity fundraiser. People make a donation under my project's name directly to the St. Baldrick's Foundation and their fight against childhood and juvenile cancers. I, in turn, email the sponsors a poem every day. And at the end of the month, I put the poems into a chapbook, designed, printed, and bound, the whole 9 yards, right here in my own kitchen. It's a cause that's dear to my heart as a father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. The poems I'm reading you today are taken from the 7 books I've done for this series since 2014. While few, if any, of all of those poems, and none of these today, actually have anything to do with cancer, the annual events are collectively known as Poems Against Cancer. It's the most satisfying work I've undertaken in almost 60 years as a poet. What really happened? I turn again to leaves, fall leaves fallen, leaving empty limbs, their colors flamed and then extinguished as the air caught cold. Cool stillness evaporates. When the music freezes, when the long steel blade of the axe hangs in the air above your head, when you wait for it to fall and you wait and want, and you see the jazz man's face become a red balloon, the image of the scream, the wanting for release, it is then the cool stillness turns to steam. A man and a woman. They were on the fishing boat's fantail, and he was having difficulty lighting his cigarette in the sea breeze. Remember the scene? She opened her coat for him, and he quickly leaned in, using it to block the wind. Is that when they started to fall in love? Except I don't know if we start to love, or if it's just there in the heartbeat needed to open 2 selves to guard the flame together. Chronophobic Triptych, left panel. The old man attends the funeral. The words of the priest is comfort for those still confined, who wait on their release with longing and anxiety. Centerpiece. He walks early spring streets as the yellow buses stop. He recalls when his children filled the sidewalks and lawns with noise and smiles, and later first held hands. One August afternoon, newlyweds move in where the widow Johnson lived in a self-made nunnery. The kids on the block feared getting their ball from her yard. His daughter and grandson visit a bit more often. To keep at bay the leaves refilling his lawn like scarves cascading from the hat of a stage magician called upon to fill idle family afternoons. This many steps to the door, this many more to make it down the snow-touched driveway. Right at the corner, right, left, no, damn it, right, and right, home. Fooled you again, time. Right panel. 6 men, good and strong, to carry the slight weight. The soulless shell alone is left. Memories grow heavier, but in the end we leave them to burden other shoulders. Wish carefully. If I got paid more, I could buy myself a car. If I could buy myself a car, I wouldn't need a bike. And if I didn't need a bike, you wouldn't have this poem written about a photograph I took of my blue bike. 5 minutes for a quarter. 7 white whirlpools form a wall topped by painted plasterboard fascia. Nothing tosses and tumbles now. Like the wheeled baskets, they stare wide and unashamed across the room. No telling what's behind that counter, forming a chest-high deal board partition. But on this side are the opening act. 2 Maytags, 2 Kenmores alternating, a choice top-loaded quartet. And in the foreground, center stage, that's me doing Scheider, doing Fosse. So outclassed by your t-shirt and plaid lang, as you twirl into my arms, I dip you easy, and we demurely hold the kiss to fade. Future shock. You dream about the dead and dying, of taking your place among their ranks, shuffling in a long line on a short path toward something you can't understand until its arms open to embrace you. And this frightens you. This frightens you so much you wake, shaking, sweating, chest heaving around the sound of your heart. On behalf of fevered brain, your eyes search the room to see where you are, to find reason to hope. Reason to hope lies in understanding that the destination is assured, but not the time or place, the method. The sense of running to escape from or draw close to what is hidden, but waiting for you later. At some place, you dream. Early in this morning. It's hot in central Missouri. 3 days from now, we'll wake and gaze at snow, 5 fresh inches covering the motel lot in Flagstaff. Still later, above the breakers and beneath the gray birds landing, there'll be donaks and a fishing float to the south of San Diego. For now, it's not quite sun time. We sit outside the night's room, cooler now than behind closed doors. Your hair is in curlers, your body in green shorts, sleeveless plaid blouse. The color of your voice is also still remembered. Woman in winter woods. She is not as tall as the photo suggests, though not diminutive by any means. The long black coat against the woods, the open-toed heels rising from snow, convey an early Greta Garbo gauntness, but far from a desire to be alone. The winter that surrounds her descends as a blizzard on his heart, miles away. But only briefly does it obscure memories he meant to hold as clear as permanence. In her right hand, a cigarette, paler than slender figures. He finds himself suddenly longing for that splendidly dangerous touch, jealous of the smoke that issues like a memory from her mouth. Stamped and mailed. I love you like a postcard, a mundane declaration that I am somewhere else, which is not here. That I am thinking in this moment only of you, being in a somewhere else that is also not here. No matter how many hands it passes through, the pairs of eyes that make hearts cry out for someone to send them these words, the message it brings belongs only to you. I would music make once more. When the last sun has fallen, there will be a need for bards to sing dirges and old lullabies, to remember lives cut short. I will set down my useless rifle, take my guitar in wearied hands, and play a saint's procession to lead them to our hearts. When the last shell is fired, there will be silence unknown during the years of fighting and the need to honor it. I will find a whole piano, miraculous in the rubble, and play a gentle melody so babes may peaceful sleep. And when the last war is over, there will be no parade to celebrate the peace, no dancing in the streets. I will stand atop my tank and play the violin, a requiem for all that have and has been lost. Wir Leben. She writes on the pocked wall next to the splintered door, a sliver of concrete for chalk. It saves the search parties time in the wake of the night's bombing. Serves as a message for neighbors who don't have a wall to write on. We're alive means you're welcome here. Later, she labors as a Trümmerfrau, one of the rubble women endlessly clearing the ruined city because it needs to be done. That, and it keeps insanity at arm's length. The waves of bombers will return, but she lives. She does not cry yet. When she starts, it will not end. Another time, another country. There's an element of impulse calling from the candy bowl, from the soda bottles, cookie jars, and cakes on the counter. Graze free now and constantly. Enjoy. What can I get you, she asks again. There, that's the quirk I don't get. If we're not chewing, she's unhappy in some place in her soul, heart, maybe psyche and history. Where does impulse hide compulsion? I'll never map this landscape. It just is. A child of immigrants, a deserted wife. She's never talked about the past hurts. And now she can't remember yesterday, leaving bowls of the past forever empty. Paris, after all the wars. A couple stands kissing in the doorway down the street from the Four Seasons. The man in the well-tailored tuxedo leans on a balcony above the boulevard as though captured by coyote. Young revelers dance by the Seine to the sounds of a makeshift band. They are not us. They never were. Still, you marvel at their happy lives. Young ladies of the night stand in the shadows across the street from a doorway near an emptying laborer's tavern. The rough-dressed children dance a ring around the rosy on a flat roof. A war widow sells flowers from a bridge near Notre Dame, looks down to the boats crowded with wealthy tourists. We are invisible. We always have been. And you will now forget you read this. The note, passed across the classroom desks, between hands in the hallway, to warm a heart and draw a smile. The note that starts the time you'll call yours, makes the day a memory, lifts your spirit or brings the tears. Left on her side of an empty bed, a promise of one thing or another, among the flowers saying, please. The note kept between the pages of a book, washed forgotten to be careless lint, etched on hearts regardless. 7 easy steps for packing a suitcase. 1, select your suitcase. Now that you've decided to go, don't hesitate. Stand up and start moving. He doesn't get to come back and hit you again. 2, pack heavy items like regrets and fear first. Don't leave these for your carry-on. Maximize space by leaving self-loathing and extra shoes in the closet. 3, smooth out wrinkles as you roll or fold special occasions, such as the days he was both home and sober. You deserved them. It might want to wear those memories in the future when they're safe. 4, toiletries will be figurative lifesavers. There's no counting the tears to wash away, or the mascara that will need repairing. You might never clear the taste of him from your mouth, but you'll never stop trying either. 5, label your suitcase with your name. It's important to be clear about who you are beneath the pain and obscenities he dressed you in. Make sure to include your destination because you don't live here anymore. Add bright colors and fun prints. It's time for what makes you happy. 6, put in dryer sheets sprayed liberally with self-worth. It's only right to keep everything you're taking for a clean start fresh and odor-free. And 7, when in doubt, leave out. Only you are irreplaceable. Make that your mantra. Make that your mantra's mantra. Now call a cab or ask the nice folks in the apartment below yours for a ride to the airport. They'll never tell where you've gone. You're done here. The sunroom at dusk. It was December, they were new, and she'd adorned herself as a partially open present, complete with ribbons wrapping her wrists, one green, one red, one leg bare, one finely netted. She spreads the cards slowly among the crystal constellations on her mother's flowered rug. It wouldn't matter how they read. He will be her lover one night, counting himself fortunate while she quietly counts coup. Finally seeing himself as bested in a combat costumed as peace, he keeps returning to tangibles, to delicate china, the rabbit staring at the cat from the lawn, and how the clock and their time were painted random numbers. Surely the candles, her taste, the ramekin and spices were true. On the home front, all of our husbands have gone off, called to places they can't speak of except to mention they're distant. So yes, we stand here in the rain like the stems of umbrella mushrooms, or ankle deep in snow, then besieged by the high, bright heat of August. Whatever God sends us will be so much better than a telegram. Raven's wings silk. She turns the corner, walks into afternoon sunshine, checks her watch and chooses coffee. The seamstress said 1 o'clock. And even if she's in a hurry, anxious, she can't just erase the next hour. Her goal is not the dress in the window, shimmering satin, all sleeveless and scoop-necked, its calf-length full skirt meant for cocktails and chaste dancing. That'll work in 10 years, maybe. More kids and anniversaries from now. Tonight will be a different number, an impure black custom-fit sheath, collarbone bared, mid-thigh hem, to remind him that he's home again, home from the war to where she's been waiting to dance as they need to. And that's all, folks.
All right. Hang on, let me show myself view.